Hi YouTube, Mochismo Eugene, another video from Exit Strategy. Welcome. I want to wish all of you mothers happy Mother's Day. I want to let you know from me to you that you are greatly appreciated by a lot of us men of standard, men of character, just men of ethics that really do appreciate all you do and all you have done. And I don't think we'll truly grasp or be able to comprehend all the things that you guys labor in this world to contribute to this being a harmonious journey of family. And so I want you guys to know that for you narcissist women, narcissist moms, I don't really have a lot of words for you. I actually pray God deal with you speedily. I pray that he reckons all the madness to you that is so richly deserved. I'm not here to be overtly critical of you, but there is no way in hell that I'm going to pay homage to any demonic entity, whether it's on purpose, whether it was perpetuated through your parent, your parent's parent, or not, because God has given everyone a beautiful thing called free will. And in the consciousness of every human being, there comes a time, there comes a point in which we all can introspect, or we have the capacity to introspect, because just as much as we know what we are doing when we do wrong, that free will to do right or to do the opposite of what we're doing, it's afforded everyone. So everyone who's listening to what I just said, be mindful or forgiving a person who uses you and mistreats you. You don't hold any grudges. You don't hold any ill feelings towards them in your heart. You continue to try to be the best person you can be. But notwithstanding that, you have to address the issues and the issue at hand. And what I mean by that is you have to look at it for what it is. See it for what it is. Don't dismiss it. Deal with it and address it. And if the culprit refuses to deal with that behavior, then you have every right within you to pray God reckons back to them what they so brutally and wrongfully did to you, because we all are going to have to give account to our actions and our behaviors in this world. And the difference of an empath, we are aware when we mistreat someone. We readily or soon after, in some way, shape, or form, undeniably feel some kind of way. And the remorse kicks in, the regret, the empathy, and the sympathy for the situation. And so we readily are trying to rectify the situation as best we can. Narcissists are not afforded that. Or it is afforded them, but in the mindset that they have, that is just not a luxury that they want a part of. So I want to talk to you guys really quick about how when the narcissist ends up being discovered by you, the empath, why the nonsense begins to make sense. The nonsense begins to make sense simply as this. You begin to see that there is no way, no how you're going to be able to get this individual based on your reading and your education of who they really are. It must start with who and what they are through the psyche and through the behavior and through the spectrum in which they're on. Once you understand and retain these fundamental truths about the narcissist, then the nonsense, then and only then will the nonsense of the narcissist and their behavior make sense. And even then, when I say make sense, it is still nonsense. So the sense that it begins to make is that you understand, you being a human being that can rationalize, that you can introspect, that you can see things in two different ways, objectively and subjectively. You can use a little bit of a critical thought process. The narcissist does not utilize the capacity to sit with themselves and do this, because they have practiced the art of, this is easier to give credit to someone else for this atrocious behavior rather than to take accountability for what I've done. They have some kind of way fancied their thought process to, from the very beginning, before the smear, before the narrative is even played out into society against you, towards friends and family and people in your workplace, before they ever smear you, they have already secured their mind to believe what they are saying about you. So in essence, they are distancing themselves from every single thing that remotely resembles responsibility. And this is an art that they've mastered. So there is just no capacity, there's no room in their mindset to be able to introspect or look at the situation that they caused and take responsibility for them being the cause of it. And so this is when it makes sense to you guys. And this is the most logical way that you can make sense out of it, because it's still nonsense at the end of the day. And what you have to do is just embrace that for what that is. There's no way you can go back and rewrite that. And so, because I'm talking about this because I hear a lot of comments about, in the comments, and to each his own. You have that right to express how you feel and what you feel. But I'm hitting on some of the points that I hear in comments that are so common, which I'll give you an example. A commenter may say, and we all do it or have done it. And sometimes we'll revert back to these type of comments. A common example of, I can't believe all of what I did for them. They would go and treat me like that. There was nothing I wouldn't do for them. Okay, I understand that, and you understand that, because that is who you are as a human being. But what you miss, that you already are aware of, but you dismiss, and your thought process is blinded by what you did. And so it was honorable. The things that you did were honorable, and you just are taken aback that was not recognized as such. Okay, you have to put that thought to the side and continue to focus on why this person, not why they did what they did to you, because you're not going to wrap your brain around why they did what they did to you. You must understand why they do what they do. Take you out of the equation and just generally look at them in a way that doesn't include you. Just look at them across the board. It was nothing personal. You were just the next person in line. You were just the next person in line. And in many cases, there were many before you guys. You probably will never hear about them. You probably will never run into them face to face. You never have a conversation with them to compare stories. That'd be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it? If, we could literally come together in past of the past, the present, and some of those are in the future. Just come together as a whole and swap stories. But the stories wouldn't be different. They'd be synonymous. They would be the same. They were parallel. They would probably be shuffled around a little bit in sequence, but they would be the same. And so when you look at the narcissist as such, you begin to take less of a personal attack on you by way of the narcissist. You begin not to look at it as this is a personal thing that they did to me. And you still stand in the honorable position that you are in, that you did these things. And this causes you to renege on even being that type of person going forward. You become a little more hesitant, and rightly so. Don't cease being who you are. All you have to do is increase on what you see, what your intuition tells you. Increase on that. And you can decrease on some of the things that you do wholeheartedly towards other people. You have all the time in the world to give and extend who you are to people. It's a waiting game. You have to wait it out. Almost like you have to let this person show themselves approved. You know? The hiring process, for example, in generally speaking, people in certain capacities in businesses don't just hire any kind of person to fill the positions. You have to go through a certain screening. You have to go through certain levels of training to become a cop, to become a fireman. You have to do rigorous training, running. So this is the same approach we should take when we are seeking a significant other or a mate. We must allow them to go through the basic trainings of, making the cut. I know I am doing that. I mean, there are women that have had interest in from a distance, and I have to really observe them from a distance and kind of read them from a distance. And that's my right, and I owe myself that in order to hopefully, if one day, meet someone that compliments me and who I am and bring nothing but beautiful things to the table. And so we can live in a harmonious fashion. I mean, you cannot shortchange yourself, because this is what got us into this. You know, the narcissist will show you just what they want you to see, nothing more, nothing less. But they don't count on the fact that they fall apart at the seams. Once they secure you, their undoing is they relax. And they just become atrocious in their behavior, their demeanor, and everything about them. Because their act, they cannot hold it together. And the reason why they can't hold their crap together is because you stay authentic and consistent across the board. This annoys them because they're in competition. They can't compete with your authenticity. They can't compete with your consistency, your honesty, your transparency, because they're steady hiding stuff. And what you begin to do, because you're consistent and authentic, you begin to question some of their inconsistencies. And thank God you are that kind of person that questions things. And how the narcissist tries to put you back to sleep when you start questioning things, they'll ask you a question with a question. Why you being that way? Why are you acting that way? Why are you asking me all these questions? Don't you trust me? And they're counting on the fact that you'll say with that, don't you trust me? Yeah, I trust you, but well, if you trust me, you wouldn't be asking me all these questions. I can go on and on about scenarios, but you've heard them all. So when you ask a question in a relationship, a healthy relationship, and it's supposed to be an honest relationship, and your intuition tells you that there's something that is in question, and you have the right to ask that person a question. Don't let them diminish you as a person for asking a question. And you just stick to your guns, and again, they will try to get you emotionally detached. Like in emotions, they'll get you, whereas you may raise your voice, or you may give a certain body language, and they'll be like, look, it's just how you looking at me. You know, they'll do all of this fancy footwork, and what you're supposed to do now that you're awakened, in times past, you fall for it. Like Eddie Murphy said, I'm not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe anymore. And so you will begin to look at them and just become stoic and say, no, I trust you, but answer the question. If we're dealing in honesty and there's nothing to hide, it's just a general question. And if you can continue to do that, and they continue to get detached and irate, you've won. You've more than won, because what you're doing is you're casually observing these things. And if these things begin to add up over a quick period of time, you already understand you have a decision to make. You have to exit. That being said, bless.